Hi.
Lower the mic.
Good call. The summer I was 16, I worked in a video store. My boss, Mike, used to call me 11-teen, which kind of means too big for your britches. Kayla was 18 and also my boss. We were closing one night when I unloaded on her about my on-again, off-again boyfriend. A real winner who got kicked out of his house and was living in his Chevy Suburban. I guess I'm afraid to be alone, I said as we re-alphabetized the porno section. Don't be sad, Kayla purred. Then she nuzzled her head against my shoulder. Her hair smelled like sweat and cats. You should come over. We'll have a slumber party. She batted her big blue bug eyes and something inside my core twisted, but I agreed anyway. I didn't find out until we were halfway to her place that she lived with her 32-year-old massage therapist boyfriend, Vern. She also told me, casually, that all of their friends called their apartment IHO, International House of Hedonism. Vern came home in the middle of Kayla's explanation of the tiny, invisible fairies who also lived in their apartment and appeared as twinkles on the periphery of your vision. She said they seemed to be taking a shine to me. He entered the living room silently, holding a dinner plate. Not knowing what else to do, I flexed my awkward social skills and said, "What's with the tattoo? You got a dog who died?" Vern glowered and explained that his forearm tattoo was not of a simple domesticated garden variety dog, but his totem creature, the wolf, and that wolves were protective of their packs and homes, and pardon me, but right now you're in my house while I'm trying to eat. He sat down across the room and began devouring a raw piece of steak. He hacked at it with a butterfly knife he pulled from his jeans. He paused only to tie back his thinning brown hair to keep it from falling into his mouth. "Tell him about your boyfriend," Kayla said as she sat back down. "You won't believe how cruel this boy is, Vernon." He let out a grunt and stayed hunched over his meat. I explained what I thought were typical boyfriend problems for a 16-year-old. He can't get it up after he does coke. He won't share the Xanax he stole from my mom. He won't say I love you. Vern didn't look at me until he ate his last piece of meat, which he picked up between two fingers and dropped from above into his gaping maw and swallowed whole. "Why don't you dump him and date us?" He picked meat from his teeth with a piece of mail and spit. In my periphery, I could see Kayla nodding excitedly and clapping her hands in tiny bursts of joy. What a wonderful idea! She smiled so wide it looked like the corners of her mouth were trying to meet on the back of her head, and she was batting those big blue bug eyes again. Before I said anything, Vern was sinking into the open space between Kayla and I on the couch. "You wouldn't belong to just me," he said and placed a hand on my knee. "You would be our girlfriend." "I see. Sounds complicated." Vern cocked his head to one side like a confused dog. "It's just, you two actually live together and..." Vern held a finger to my lips. "We won't leave you out." He moved the hand on my knee in slow circles. "You'll get extra attention." I wondered if wolves, in their packs, had several partners. There was either previous experience or spirit animal intuition at play because a list of rules formed. No sex, sex meaning penis and vagina, unless all three partners are present. Kissing on the mouth is allowed and encouraged, especially between the women. Being on one's period does not exclude one from participating. It made too much sense to my 16-year-old brain. A little scary, I thought, while Vern leered at me and waited to seal the deal with a kiss, his face so close to mine I could feel his hot meat breath on my eyeballs. But at least it's something new. So I shrugged, looked Vern right in the eyes, and kissed him. Kayla clapped and bounced again, and it felt like Vern was trying to swallow my whole face like that last piece of meat. And as he led me to the bedroom, I thought, for a moment, that I'd seen a little glimmer on the periphery of my vision. Kayla noticed my expression and smiled. "They know you're one of us now." Imagine you're a 16-year-old goth girl. Too much black, too much eyeliner, too much metal, too much attitude. You're like this because you're uncomfortable in your skin. You think looking weird is going to keep people at bay, let you decide who you'll socialize with, give you power. Instead, it attracts weirdos. Imagine you fuck every guy who calls himself your boyfriend because it's a power play. Because it makes you hate your body a little less every time, because you were spurned by the boy you lost your virginity to, and you've been trying to feel better about it. About sex, about boys and love, even though sex and love are all mixed together in your head and you don't know the difference. Imagine you're this girl with this baggage and twisted up head, and you find yourself in a bedroom that looks sent from 1983. Waterbed on a wooden frame with a headboard that's 8 feet tall and a mirror with tchotchke shelves. And prominently displayed on one of these shelves, next to the flea market crystal ball and the ceramic incense burner shaped like a wizard, is a painting of a wolf on black velvet. Imagine this room belongs to a lecherous man who makes no attempt to appear any less sleazy than he is. This man and his girlfriend, who's as twisted up in the head as you are, they've got you, their new girlfriend, in this tacky, disgusting room, and they're undressing you with their eyes, with their hands, with their mouths. They're tying you to the waterbed with nylon rope. Arms stretched so far you feel like they'll unhinge, legs just slack enough to give you the false impression that if you really wanted to, you could free yourself. Their hands seem to be multiplying, 2, then 4, then 8, and they're all over you, your breasts, your midriff, your vulva, sweeping and clawing and scraping and searching. One pair of hands search inside you, large hands with calluses and nails that need clipping. It stings. It feels like sandpaper, like lemon juice, like too many fucking fingers are in there at once and stretching and twisting and tearing. You resist. You try to twist away from them because the fog has lifted, and suddenly it's clear to you that there's nothing inside for them, that this was a mistake, a bad mistake, but you're tied up. But you're ours now, the lecherous one says. He wipes blood on your chest, your stomach, your blood. His girlfriend's eyes look sad, and you think this is maybe how things go for her when you're not around. She watches. Her hands don't sweep or claw, they stay folded in her lap, her body swaying with the water-filled mattress as the lecherous one looms over you, his long, thinning hair hanging in your face. You feel him hard against your abdomen as his knees force themselves between your thighs, even though you try like hell to keep them clamped together. You feel him stab against your pubic mound, your clit, your labia, clumsily trying to rush his way in. He grunts and gestures for his girlfriend's attention. Her mouth quivers. Her eyes look pleading. She does it anyway. She leans over you, reaches between your legs, and spreads you open for her boyfriend, her fingers dry and sticking to your lips, your blood. My boss called me 11-teen because I thought I knew it all, and that made me an easy mark, especially for a wolf like Vern. I unloaded onto him about the whole thing one night at close while he counted registers and I sorted porn. Like it was nothing, I said, I was kind of in a thing with Kayla and her boyfriend. Explained all about the 2 or 3 weeks I spent dating them, even though I could tell hearing it really wasn't something he was into. He peered over the DVD racks at me. That was rape. This is the part when I'm supposed to tell you that hearing that changed my life, that I stopped whoring around, that it was my wake-up call the first day of the rest of my life, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't. Not even close, because I'd already moved on. I'd already started fucking someone else.
Yeah.